So this is the first question in the LeetCode 75 problem set. It's merge strings alternately. And so you're given two words, word one and word two. And you just take alternate letters starting with word one. So you take the first letter from word one, then word two, and so on. But yeah, so just to go to the code, I just quickly set up length variables, len1, len2. New string is the string that's going to be returned, and then C1, C2, those are the counters. So you just want to use two counters for each word, or one for each word. And so the other thing too is that's worth mentioning is I like to use variable names that make it obvious what they're associated with. So like word one goes with len1, goes with C1, word two goes with len2, goes with C2. Usually I would use like X, Y, and Z because I'm a mathematician before a programmer, but if I can use variable names that are descriptive, I always try and do that. As far as the next part, so this is just we're looping through the two, or we're checking to make sure that the counters haven't reached the ends of each word. And so the main thing to note is that this has to be an or, because the two words can have differing lengths. And so you wouldn't want to stop the longer word when you reach the end of the shorter word. And so that's what would happen if you had an and here. And we're just checking to see if the first word counter is still before the end, and then if it does, you take that letter and append it to the new string, and then you only iterate the counter inside of its own if statement, so you're not iterating a word that's already ended. It wouldn't really make a big difference, but it's still just something good to do. And then that's really it. This one's considered easy, and so that's really all it is. And then you just return new string, and so let's submit it. It's crazy the difference. Yeah, so the runtime was low this time. I've ran the same one, and it had like 97% runtime, but like 10% memory, and so yeah, like the metrics are all over the place. I would say it's not really worth like lingering on these too much, especially if you run the same code and it changes a lot. What matters more is as long as you understand the concepts of the question, and so you're kind of writing code that's very similar to what is the best solution, then that's what matters more. Because like I said, like I ran this one where it had like 97% speed and then 10% memory, and so it doesn't really make any sense because it's the same code, and the variation in the, yeah, see, there we go. Yeah, look, so 96, almost 96%, 95%, and I've just been rerunning the same one, and this same code did like 10 and 10. So what matters more is understanding the concept, not worrying about LeetCode's metrics.